the show where we discuss the thoughts that inch their way into our brain and keep us up when we should be sleeping. I'm your host, Razlo, and tonight I have star of adult entertainment and video game streamer, Tiffany Starr, back on the show to help keep me up. Tonight, we're going to discuss such topics as: what animal parts would you splice onto yourself? Should skent be pronounced skent? And we talk about the trend of strippers at funerals in China. Please enjoy. Tiffany. Hey.
What?
I know every time you invite me over to sleep over, I need to talk about dumb things and prevent you from sleeping, but...
Do that when you're awake too. Can't you just go back to sleep?
I just have, a few things, almost a dozen, potentially.
Why do you sleep so fucking close to me?
Something to do with camera. They're back again. The cameras and the...
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see a camera. This is totally not staged.
So you're cool talking about some stuff, right? That are keeping me up.
Fine. I got some shit going on through my head too.
All right.
I can't go back to sleep now. You woke me up.
So I want to know what you thought of the trend of Chinese funeral strippers.
Wait, that's a thing?
So
Is it to make the people mourning happier?
That's my guess.
What about the kids and the wives?
I don't know if they...
The other family's not allowed?
I don't know if they interviewed them.
Like, are they lowering the body into the ground while the strippers are dancing? Or are they on the coffin when it's being lowered?
I should have looked up a video to see what exactly...
You don't even know what they do?
I just read the article that more and more funerals in China were hiring strippers.
So is it like when the girl pops out of a cake for your birthday, but they pop out of a coffin? Surprise!
The wife's in the middle of praying at the casket, and out pops this girl with tassels on.
You must be Mrs. Lucky. Mourning my boobs.
On the one hand, I think, anything that can get you through a tough time makes sense. I don't know, though, that this is something that's ever going to take off across the world.
I don't know. There's a lot of marketing potential there.
Well, I guess if you're a funeral home and you're trying to differentiate yourself.
Yeah. I mean, maybe sales are going down. They're like, I know strippers, sex sells. Spice up your death with a Japanese stripper.
Well, we wanted him to die like he lived.
Oh.
Paying way too much money for women who are pretending to be interested.
I don't know. I think it's in poor taste. I appreciate them doing something different. Maybe I feel like it's okay if the guy or woman who died in China wanted Chinese strippers, or any kind of stripper, honestly. But if they didn't request that, maybe don't have your buddies say, hey, let's get strippers so our dead friend's funeral is not boring as fuck.
You know what? He bored us enough in life. In death, he owes us.
He would have wanted us to get strippers with his money.
I wonder if there's a certain amount that's just set aside for the funeral, and it's just irresponsible friends being like, I didn't know this was an option.
Yeah.
This is an option? Okay.
I think
I'll
it'd
definitely
be
do it.
awesome if it was the wife's idea. Like, the wife is like, now that he's dead, let's try something new. Let's get some strippers.
It's like a guy that's in a thong with the husband's memorial photo.
Oh, you're talking about Chinese male strippers now. So it's like, he's like this on the casket, and his dick's flopping over the dead guy's face.
He's got the in memoriam photo on his thong, bulging out.
Yeah, when he gets horny, it stretches out and it shows the whole picture of the dead body. Yeah, this isn't gonna take off. I think they're in poor taste.
I mean, it's taking off in China anyway. But there are certain things that stay locked into a country, so I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Well, it's not happening anywhere else.
I mean, I don't think it's a trend anywhere else that I've seen, but maybe there's just enough people that were just waiting to see a bunch
So there is no Japanese strippers at funerals or Irish strippers at funerals.
I would love to see the differences.
Well, the Irish funeral would have the strippers drunk as fuck.
Just falling off of the casket.
They'd be hanging off the casket like this, and that's their dance.
Well, speaking of the dead, you had a question about Deadpool.
Oh, I did have a question about Deadpool, guy who reads my mind. I was curious, because you know how Deadpool breaks the fourth wall?
Yeah.
That's one of his, abilities.
Right.
Do you think he ever has, an existential crisis whenever he breaks the fourth wall?
I think it'd probably be difficult for him to get what is reality at a certain
no,
point.
he definitely knows what reality is. I'm just wondering if he has an existential crisis because...
Because he's a comic book character.
But yeah, and he knows it.
Yeah.
But does he embrace it? Fuck it, let's do it? Or is he why do I exist?
Well, if he's anything like my friend that does mushrooms, he's going to tell people that that they need to do mushrooms as well to see the truth of the staged play that we're in that's called reality.
What the fuck are you talking about? Like my friend who does mushrooms, does he give them to you too?
They didn't give it to me. I'm just saying.
What are you talking? Deadpool doesn't do shrooms.
But I'm saying she is like, hey, this is all a facade. This isn't real.
So you're saying that Deadpool's on a constant high.
I'm saying that if Deadpool's anything
He's tripping balls 24/7.
He's probably trying to be like, hey guys, we're trapped in a comic. And there's a bunch of, and everyone else is just like, dude, you took too many shrooms.
See, he obviously is happy all the time for the most part. So there are two theories I have. One is he acts like a lot of nihilists who aren't depressed or semi-nihilists, where they're like, oh, one day the sun's going to explode or expand and destroy everything, and no matter how much we breed and no matter how much we advance technology-wise, it's going to be for nothing. We'll be a blip in the eye of time. Yeah. But fuck it, just have fun while you're alive. Yeah. And I feel like Deadpool might take that approach. Who cares if we're a comic book character? I get to do cool shit. I'm a comic book character. I'm going to ride this train as long as I can. I'm going to live forever in the hearts of people.
Oh yeah, on the other side of that is we think that we're trapped in a reality where we're definitely going to die in a handful of decades. In a progressively...
who's going to write the comics when we're all dead?
But...
When we all die, he comes with us.
No, I'm saying us personally, not like humanity. Obviously, humanity's days are numbered as well, but I'm saying specifically us. We live in a reality where we're like, ooh, time's ticking. Yeah. At least Deadpool's like, hey, the issue sales are good.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep going. This is awesome.
There's the flip side, and I don't think this is the case. I think the case I made is the actuality of what he would think. Yeah. He just is like, well, if life means nothing, then find meaning and have fun. Yeah. But he could be just putting on a show. He could just be happy and doing all that fun stuff just because he's depressed inside, kind of like a Robin Williams thing.
Well, they hint at him doing things and having adventures and things that aren't in the comics. So do you think when the issue stops that he's frozen in time?
Yeah, when you close the page of the comic, he starts to weep, and he says, "Why do I do this? What's the point?
Pick up the next volume, please. I need to continue."
Those assholes live in a universe where they're going to die. Why do I entertain them?
Yeah, it's like us entertaining just flies, existing to entertain flies.
I feel like I'm going to go with my first assumption though. Have fun with it because it's the happier outcome.
Right. So. Making things more fun. This isn't even so much a joke topic as just I'm frustrated seeing my friends tormented by social media. And so I'm personally not that ruined by social media, at least to the degree that my friends are. And I think the reasoning is that a lot of people don't use the features of the different social media sites correctly. And so then they end up...
Some don't use them at all.
Or use them at all.
I don't use a lot of them at all. I have Snapchat, and everyone's like, you should get on Snapchat, and I barely use it.
The experience that everyone talks to me about when they use these different platforms, they're like, oh, this is an annoying thing, or this, or I have to constantly see this, or whatever. And like, I just want to say, like, in terms of Twitter, like, there's a list function, and you can add anyone to a list. And so what I do is I make a list.
Do you check it twice?
I check it twice.
Do you make sure that the people on there are naughty and nice?
There's a combination of both.
Yeah, I was going to say, sometimes you want the naughty people, right?
Right, and I call the list Twitter Fun.
Twitter Fun.
And I only look at that. And so when I go on Twitter, everyone's like, man, this stuff's not chronological, and I'm seeing all this shit I don't want to see, and whatever. And I'm like, it's all chronological, and I'll only see who I want. And I'm not like unfollowing people that suck. I mean, like, not on a deep, emotional. I'm saying like they're bad at tweeting. I don't unfollow them because I'm like, you're just not on the list I look at. And so I continue to follow them so they don't feel like I hate them. Because there's like this ingrained thing when like someone stops following you on social media where you're like, what the fuck? Like, what did I do wrong? Right? When it just could be like, hey, they didn't like...
I lost quite a few followers on Twitter, and I think it's because I started posting more game stuff and less naked stuff.
That makes sense, yeah.
But then I know those aren't the real fans. Those are the people that just, jack it to me,
right.
jacking.
Right.
So, but, I mean, I love my fans, and a lot of them, I still have a lot of followers. They still like my stuff, even my game stuff. So.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that matter. I mean, if I do notice if I put naked stuff up, my numbers rise again.
Right.
So... But they want you to consistently update, and I'm not like some of these girls that do it just for like the views. They're like, but it is good to do just for marketing and for getting more subscriptions and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I'm saying like, so for Twitter, I recommend setting up a list. It'll keep all the people that you care about finding out stuff about in chronological order, so you know if you've seen everything you want to see, and you're only seeing the stuff you want. And it doesn't do... And the weird thing, too, is since nobody uses lists, they don't put ads and things in it.
I don't have a list.
So you never see the Twitter ads or things that you normally would see if you're using regular Twitter. It doesn't have the... Oh, no. Poor Panda. My stars. So that's my recommendation for Twitter. My recommendation for Facebook, which I think more people use this, but still some people don't, is like, you can still stay friends with someone and unfollow them, and they never see whether you're following them or not following them.
Yeah.
And so if you have like one person on your friends list, like, and you just can't get rid of them, and it's like, oh, this person's like really important to me, but they're putting things, they're putting things that are so boring that it makes you want to stay with
Had ice cream today, YOLO.
Or it's like, oh man, like they have dumb opinions about stuff, I can't handle it. You can be okay, unfollow. And then you'll just see the stuff when they tag you.
Yeah, when they're like, we don't need socialism in the, economy. And it's like, there's already aspects of socialism in our economy, right? You fucking do.
When you're sick of having those arguments, you can just be like, unfollow. And that makes Facebook a lot, because I see a lot of people who are like, Facebook, I'm just constantly seeing like how my family's racist and my friends are awful and whatever.
Well,
and
I kind of want to know if the people on my
sure,
are racist.
And there's certain people that will just unfriend those people, and I get that too. But there's certain people who are like, I can't unfriend they just don't want to cross that line. I can't unfriend my family or friends, but you don't want to see that stuff, and so I'm saying, just unfollow them.
Wait, how many of your friends do you have posting racist stuff? Went to the Klan today.
I mean, I live in New Hampshire, so.
Oh, well. I don't have any racist friends as far as I know.
It's not even that. I think that there's people that will post stuff that's like problematic, and you're like, I don't want to see it, right? Yeah. And it's like
it could be like I have a friend named, I'm not going to say a name here, but she's developed some insecurities or mental issues, and she keeps talking nonsense, crazy stuff like Vladimir Putin is trying to remove her hair using magnetized ions, and she's just posting all this crazy shit. So I had to unfollow her because she'd post weird stuff, and it got to the point where she like posted a picture of a poop, and I'm like, I'm done.
Can you give me her name to follow? Just kidding.
It wasn't on a chest. I don't know if you'd be interested. She's like, this is it. This is my poop. They use magic ions with fucking lasers or whatever stupid shit.
That's really... So, but was it always the same thing? Is that why? Or was it new crazy every time?
It's sometimes she'll go back to the same thing. It's a lot of repetition, but sometimes she'll come up with something new. And she's not... She wrote, like, Vladimir Putin something on like, her garage door. She's perfectly fine. Nothing unstable about that woman.
Well, the good thing is that she can get a gun.
Oh, yeah.
You can't unfollow someone's physical existence.
Shut up a scroll because Vladimir Putin used magic ion magnets on my phone.
Right. That's the issue, I guess, right? Like, why didn't no one call out and talk about this? They all had unfollowed her on Facebook. Nobody knew how far
Oh
she
no,
had
I still go back to this day, and I will actually read some of her posts because they're fucking hilarious.
Well, after this, I want to see what the most
my
recent...
God.
I just need to know where we're at.
I'm sure they want to see now too, but I can't. I don't want to reveal her identity.
But I'm saying I can. That's the advantage.
Yeah, I will show you, and then you can tell them how bullshit it is.
Well, maybe at some point...
Yes.
They'll have to call in James Bond to try to take her.
And then you can
out.
you just want to show her so you can message her later and say, "What are you doing later? I need you to take a dump on my chest."
Vladimir Putin has sent me.
Vladimir Putin wants you to shit on my chest, or he'll pull your hair out with magnetism.
Hey, it's not my message. It's Vladimir Putin's.
To be fair though, I assumed you wanted it on your chest. You may not want it there.
That's nice of you. I'm glad that you think highly enough of me that you're like, I care about my friends. I want
the fecal matter on
where they want it. Where they want it. This is why this is the second time we've done this, because you're so caring.
Oh yeah, I'm super fucking caring.
So
I'm making fun of my friend who's fucking legit mental.
Right, she's breaking apart.
Poor girl. She wasn't always like that.
I mean, most people don't start off like
Don't
that.
start off like magnetism in my brain.
Right. It's like the people who have like too much hot sauce to the point that like they can't taste it anymore. They're like, I need like the triple.
The ghost pepper.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't start off like I need ghost pepper. She's in the ghost pepper of psychological
of crazy town.
So you ruined my transition. But anyways, you were wondering something about James Bond.
Oh yeah. My theory is that James Bond is a Time Lord.
I think that is an amazing theory because it would explain why there's always a different actor.
That's true.
Playing him.
And they even bring up in certain movies with different actors past events that happen in movies with other actors.
a reboot, which is kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean, other than Daniel Craig, because that was like a full-on reboot, I think that's supposed to be starting from the beginning with someone else. But I'm talking about.
But even the actors around him will change.
Yes.
And he's still referencing
exactly.
stuff. Yeah.
And that's up to like Pierce Brosnan. For all I know, they're on fucking. They're all Time Lords as far as I'm concerned, But up until Pierce Brosnan, I think that's like the first 20 movies. Mm-hmm. I think that he's a Time Lord.
Supposed to be the same.
Yeah, because Roger Moore killed Blofeld, and Blofeld was an enemy back in Sean Connery's day.
Yeah.
It's fun fact. Inspector Gadget's villain, Dr. Claw, was based off Blofeld because of the cat.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I kind of got that. And then that whole thing just became like a meme with like villains always had to have like a pet. If it wasn't a cat, it was like a dog that like sat near them that they pet or whatever.
I don't know if James Bond, the series, started that, but they popularized it where it's a memeable.
I don't want to go off on a tangent that I'm about to go off onto for a second here.
Okay.
Because you brought up Inspector Gadget. Have you ever seen what Dr. Claw looks like?
Only in the shitty movie. Wait.
They had like the last episode or whatever of Inspector Gadget the cartoon. They showed Dr. Claw, and it's like the lamest fucking dude ever.
What did he look
and
like?
I realized,
Was he like a banker?
basically, he looked like a banker that just like put on a cool glove on one arm and then didn't care about the rest of him because he knew there'd always be shot from this side.
Oh, he planned it. He planned it that way. He's just like set up the camera right there. Don't move it. And then it's just like, aw. It's like if
like the mad
It's like if Thanos had the Infinity Gauntlet, but Thanos was like a 12-year-old boy. Like you never see it until after.
Yeah. It's really, I recommend doing a Google search on it. It's supremely disappointing.
Oh, it was bad in the movie,
And
too.
I'm like,
the whole movie was
the logo is so cool. The fucking arm is so cool. His, yes, Gadget, is like such a good voice. And then I'm like, man, this dude's gotta look badass, I bet. And then you see him and you're like, oh, like that's the guy that like works.
Does my accounting.
Yeah, like, he's just like, yeah, that's what he's doing with all the money.
That's the guy that brings me coffee every morning.
He's like, excuse me, yes, I'll give you a call right back. I've been looking at your forms. I'll get you right back. Hold on one second. I just have to do the thing. Beep. Gadget. It's like, oh no, it's more realistic, especially now when you see what the current crop of villains are like.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, they're all so fucking lame that it makes sense, but...
We should get back to James Bond.
Right.
You're going on that tangent.
I told you I was going to.
Well, so I think we're both in agreement that he's the Time Lord. It makes sense.
I would love to see a crossover with
Doctor Who and
Have they
James
done it
Bond.
already?
No.
They're both British heroes. It seems like it's
I would be
natural.
surprised if they didn't have an...
At least like a coloring book or something. Like there's got to be something.
No, they did have Timothy Dalton, who is
Yeah.
actually like he's not like king, but like president of the Time Lords.
Oh, right.
And he was James Bond
Oh, yeah,
once,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I guess that is a crossover. Timothy
Saying,
Dalton
oh,
is actually in charge of Gallifrey. So
Okay.
it comes full
So
circle.
we've solved that, which is awesome. Now no one can debate it. James Bond's a Time Lord.
Yeah.
One thing that I'm wondering is, so all you can eat as a construct is very popular.
Yes.
And I'm wondering why, despite it being such a popular method to do business, it hasn't expanded out that much beyond eating. Like hotels where it's like all you could sleep, or like
What about brothels? All you can fuck. Yeah.
right, because like people would have these idea that would be great actually.
Have like
Because there's people that like every guy like thinks that they're amazing, in
Yeah.
bed. And be like, oh, I'm gonna like go,
Bang all the
I'm gonna go
chicks
through like I'm gonna probably 5, 6. Man, am I ripping them off? And then the guy's gonna like barely get through one.
Yeah.
And they're gonna, and then he's like, man, I just want to take a nap. And it's
Yeah.
like, take a nap at home.
That would work actually, and they'd make bank on that. Don't steal that idea; it's mine. Anyways, I'm gonna open up a brothel now.
Yeah, there's no legal issue with it, so you should be. You're just gonna have to go to Vegas, I guess.
Just gonna wait till sex work is decriminalized and move to.
be, yeah.
Yeah, it should be, or move to outside of Vegas, just outside the town because it's illegal there, but it's legal in the state, and then open up a brothel.
They have it.
It's like the Bunny Ranch except good.
Well, I mean, hopefully you have a better fate than the man.
Oh yeah, well, because I'm not a complete fucking moron, I'm pretty sure I'll be fine.
Yeah, he's
Dead?
he's exploiting women up in heaven.
Cheap. That man is not up in heaven. If there is a heaven too,
he's in a bunny ranch down
he's getting butt fucked by like a bunch of black
down in
men.
hell, down in hell. But they have like something like that now that I'm thinking about it, for not the brothel part, but like the all you can play thing at like Dave and Buster's or something like that.
Yeah,
And I'm just surprised like not every business has something like that.
it doesn't work for every business. Like all you can sleep, you only need 8 hours of sleep. I mean,
But I'm saying like if there was a hotel that was like,
if you get a hotel for like 3 days, that's technically all you can sleep for 3 days.
there's someone who's like, man, I wanted to sleep in past noon and the checkout's noon. and they'd be willing
You
to.
can have late checkouts if you call them up.
And they're like, I'm gonna get 3 days out of these people, and then they wake up, 10 hours later, and they're like, oh, I guess I wasn't as sleepy as I thought. Maybe it's a bad example.
That's not the best example, but they can do stuff like that.
Or how about a concert, right? Where it's
all you can,
all you
like
can,
that.
and it's like, but as soon as you need to step away or take a nap, you have to no sleeping on the concert grounds, right? And so someone's like, man, like I've been raging for
3 days.
I think most people would be like, once you hit like the 10-hour mark.
There's already things like that, like Ozfest, and there's a few others where you pay a bunch of money and you get to see like a bunch of bands.
But that's like across multiple days.
Yeah, 3
and
days.
They have stopping points.
Oh, you want it to go 24/7.
Right.
So you want it to be like Burning Man, except with concerts.
But people get the idea of like, I'm going to pay extra because this one goes 24 hours. But the reality is they probably weren't going to watch bands much past.
Wait, are we?
This would probably be awful for the bands actually. Now that I'm thinking about it,
they'd switch out. It wouldn't be.
They'd be like, no. I'm saying the band that's playing 1 a.m. would be like,
oh yeah,
man, this crowd's trying to hold on.
Yes.
To make their money's worth, yeah. But they're just like, this is the worst gig I've ever played. It's just a bunch of people like, no more.
You got Matchbox 20 at 3 a.m. going, baby, it's 3 a.m.
You have the easy listening bands come in at like 2 a.m. to clear people out. You can start coming into the concert whenever you want.
Yes.
You can start listening whenever you want. You're like, oh man, like it's cheaper the later in like the cycle you come. But you're like, no. I'm going to start at 8 a.m. and I'm going to go till like maybe like 4 p.m. the next day. And it's like, yeah, easy listening starts around like 2 a.m. Like, fuck, no, I can't make it.
Yeah. But are you advocating for ripping people off? Because
yes.
Wow, why would you want to give companies this idea?
Because I'm saying all you can eat, like outside of like the occasional guy that closes down a restaurant.
You're making me hungry as fuck. We're gonna eat after this. We're eating after this.
No, we're going to sleep.
Fuck you. I'm gonna eat in bed. You sleep over there. I'm gonna have pizza and shit. And then when you're asleep, I'm gonna smudge some sauce on
the thing that really makes me want to go to sleep is hearing munching sounds. Doesn't everyone find that comforting?
Usually the girls, when I'm munching them, they don't go to sleep.
Oh man, I hate it when like there's a podcast or something that and I won't do that with this podcast, but when there's a podcast or something that you're listening to and the people are eating while the podcast is going, and it's like, it could be someone where the mic isn't picking up anything they're saying. It's like,
you know what else
But then as soon as they take one bite of a pizza, it's like, it's like the microphone is like inside their mouth.
We probably just made the loudest fucking noise. But to be honest, I also hate, on that topic, people who are recording on stream. Yeah. And their keyboard's fucking loud. Every tap is like thunder.
There's like a trend. Like there's people who are like keyboard fetishists. Not necessarily sexually, but I'm saying like, they're like, I'm gonna get this kind of cap and this kind of whatever. And they like loud keyboards.
Because they want to hear that they made a
click,
tapping
click,
noise.
right? Like they like it. And that's fine when like you're by yourself and people can choose to leave your life and things like that. But like,
he's got a loud keyboard. I'm out of here forever. You on your own, buddy?
But when you're like, I'm gonna stream regularly, and you're like, why are you doing this? You're the worst. It should be like the most silent keyboard ever.
I hate it, and because there are some streamers that'll do that. Like my keyboard's not that loud, which is great, and I try not to be loud anyways.
The mic picks it up a lot, even regular keyboards. Yeah, so like when it's one of the clickety clackety ones,
it's like, different if like you're doing a game where you have to like press the button fast. I expect that, but if every little thing you do is like hammers in your fucking head, no, I can't do it.
So you had a question about sense.
I do. Scent, S-C-E-N-T. I was wondering, in the word scent, is the S or the C silent? I already have a theory, but I want to know what you think.
Because this is the problem with the English language. I mean, there's a lot of problems with it. But one of the problems with it is that there's no consistency. Like, it's like there's so many like exceptions to the rule where it's like I feel bad. I'm happy that I learned English because it seems like it would be a bitch and a half.
I mean, did you? I mean, you don't speak it properly most of the time.
I think I've degraded since I started hanging out with you.
Oh, I see. I'm a bad influence. It's my accent. It sounds like I'm there's marbles in my mouth constantly.
Yeah.
I see. Throw the shit right back at me. Yeah. Flinging mud.
Yeah.
Touche.
So you'd expect it to be pronounced skent.
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 Which is gross to hear.
Skent sounds like a dirty vagina smell.
And
that skent smell.
If you ever want to turn someone off, like you decide at the last minute that you don't want to sleep with them, I think that's a great method to do it. If you're just like, your skent is... And then when they go, it's not pronounced.
I love your skent.
When they go, it's not pronounced that way. Insist, like angrily insist that this is how it's pronounced.
It's like the Family Guy thing with the cool whip. It's like skent.
It's such a gross sounding word.
What's that alluring skent?
It's such a gross sounding word.
I know, it's so sensitive.
And imagine someone just insisting, like they're not going to change the way they're pronouncing it.
It smells like someone wiped their vagina with a skunk.
Oh, we should go into a Yankee Candle shop.
And just walk around together and be like, what do you think of this skent?
And go to the clerk, go like, what skent is hot right now? And then she's just confused.
I need a hot skent.
Just double down on it. Just keep being like, oh, I don't like that skent at all.
I want to put skent everywhere in my house. My theory is that if one has to be silent, it's the C. And that's because there's already a word called scent with C-E-N-T. So the S deserves its own word. So
well, it has S-E-N-T.
No, but scent like change, C-E-N-T.
I know that. I'm saying they both have their own word.
Whoa, what is scent? Oh, well, yeah, but that's boring. That
I'm
one...
just saying your argument fell apart.
Listen. Okay, fine. How about this then?
Yeah.
I forgot about that word. I'm great with the English language. You're right, I am rubbing off on you. Holy shit. Maybe it's a collaborative effort, right?
Yeah.
And they're sharing this.
Maybe you're meant to pronounce the S sound louder.
Maybe
because
it's just skent and everyone's fucking up and calling it
Maybe
sense.
you're meant to pronounce the S part louder because it's double scent. Oh, I did the N. Wow.
Or is it
scent?
Scent. Just a sense.
Like the snake character from Jungle Book.
Oh
yeah. Scent. That's a good way to sound creepy too.
Skent.
Did you put on a new deodorant? It has lovely scent. I would be like, what are you doing? I'm grossed out. Are you literally a snake?
Are you talking?
Do you smell with your tongue?
You're saying people with lisps are gross because people with lisps.
Wow, you're really trying to throw me under the bus today.
You're throwing yourself under the bus.
I was saying specifically talking about.
I work with what I got. Okay, what's the next thing on your mind?
So, in the movie Gremlins.
I love that movie.
It's a great movie. And the guy is concerned because he's like, you gotta make sure you keep this thing as a mogwai because if it turns into a gremlin, it's an awful pet. And I'm not disagreeing that gremlins are an awful pet. But what I'm thinking is there's already people that have so many similarly, if not worse, awful pets. Because we're like, oh man, it would be awful to have a gremlin as a pet. But there's people with like alligators as pets, or bears as pets, or tigers as pets, or whatever. And if it came right down to it, and I had a fight for my life versus a gremlin or one of those other things, I'm picking gremlin every time.
The problem with that argument is it's not that there aren't any other dangerous pets. There are two factors, I think, why. And the first one is for the creatures, if we're going by the movie, they're pretty intelligent.
Yeah.
They're smart.
Yeah.
So you can't really keep anything too smart as a pet because they could turn on you. Imagine if your cat knew that you were feeding it shit and it wanted to slit your throat in the middle of the night with its claws.
I'm pretty sure that most cats feel that way.
Secondly, they breed too fast and it's too easy to accidentally breed them. And if they're already dangerous, you're making more dangerous things faster.
Well, to your point, I didn't think about the fact that when you get a bear wet, more bears don't pop off it.
When you get a bear wet, have you been to the gay bar down the street?
More bears aren't popping off of it.
I mean, is this what the outfit's for? I thought this was for bed. No wonder you came in like this.
You know, I'm
that
trying
musky
to make
skent you have all over your body.
I just go there to make friends.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's just they appreciate me the most. So you gotta go where your audience
They
is.
should have a gay bar, if not the bar name, a room in the bar called Care Bears.
There's got to be some place that's already done that.
Yeah, there has to be, but I don't know about it, so it's my idea.
Okay, so obviously gremlins are an awful pet.
Yes.
But one thing that's inarguable is the success of Crash Bandicoot and Spyro and some of these older games that are being brought back.
Yeah.
And
Crash Team Racing just came out. I fucking love that
game. And you're
game.
kicking ass at it.
I've been grinding those friggin' Grand Prix. It's a pain in my ass. I'm almost to gold tier. It's a pain in the butt, but I'm gonna unlock everything.
And I believe you. I would not, but I believe that you will.
I'm doing it for us because when my friends come over, they take benefit of everything I unlock. I'm not doing this for me. When am I gonna play?
So you're saying that they're friends with benefits?
What, are we friends with benefits?
Yeah, Crash Team Racing.
Yeah. We didn't establish what those benefits were. Video games.
That's what
I'm just going to go around saying, oh, all my friends are friends with benefits.
Right.
And they'll be like, wow, you're a whore. And I'm like, what, Sharon Crash Bandicoot?
Right. Yeah, it's like I'm a great cook. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So you were wondering what retro game franchises should be brought back. And
we should list a few off.
What's one that you're thinking of?
I would love a sequel or reboot of The Legend of Dragoon. I've been waiting forever, and the problem is the guy who made the first one, they were planning on doing a second one, but he was promoted. Right. So he's like, see ya, bitches! And then they just never made one. I think they floated the idea around after, but it didn't take.
Well, that guy is really high up in PlayStation.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. He got promoted.
And he's in charge of the Japanese output for PlayStation in terms of games. And so
why can't they get some other fucking dude to do
No, I think I think it's only a matter of time before that comes back and I think even as weird as it sounds, because it doesn't sound like they're connected at all, but I think if Medieval does really well, even though it's a totally different style of game, I think it will be...
They keep trying to revive it. They had the one on PSP, but I think which was great, Resurrection.
I think it'll promote, like, hey, you should care more about your back catalog.
Yes.
And I think that they'll bring it back.
Well, one of the reasons Sony might be doing that is because Activision is doing it too. You know?
But also Final Fantasy VII's coming back, and that's gotten a lot of attention.
Yeah. So now is the hype train, you know? In a world where there's new Bubsy games, there's 2 new Bubsy games. You can get both on PS4. There's Paws on Fire, and then there's the Woolly Revenge or Attack of the Woolies or whatever. I can't fucking remember. I don't own either one of them. Although the Paws one actually got okay reviews.
Well, it's by the Bit Trip guys.
Yeah, and it acts like Bit Trip too. Yeah. I actually like the Bubsy games. I just think axe the time limit and make it so you don't die in one hit and slide all over the place.
The Super Nintendo one was good, and the 3D ones or 3D one was awful.
Well, what the point is, if a game that failed so horribly like Bubsy 3D on PlayStation 1, if that character can come back, there's more. I think they should bring back, and you already know this because I've brought this up a bunch of times, Bait and Kados. I love Bait and Kados.
Well, I was gonna say you're sticking on the RPG tip, but I was gonna say sticking on like the Sony train. I would love to see them bring back, and it's like closer to like a Crash sort of thing.
Yeah.
Is like bring back Tomba.
Oh,
would
yeah.
be awesome, because Tomba is one of those things where it was like really critically acclaimed, and the first one sold okay. Like Sony's like
Did the second one not sell?
got a lot of. Well, the second one didn't sell that hot, but I also feel like it was kind of hard to find copies of Tomba 2 back in the day, and I don't know if it was
Yeah,
like,
they're still worth a lot of money. On
yeah, there's
eBay.
not many copies of it out there, and I can't figure out if it's like, were there not a lot of copies out there because nobody wanted it, or did
They
it not
just not
sell
make a
well
lot,
because they didn't make a lot, or what it is. Like, it reminds me, like, Tomba is kind of like the Gravity Rush of its day. Like, Gravity Rush got a lot of critical acclaim, is a badass game, and gamers like largely ignored it. But I think Tomba is like more accessible, and I think the weird stuff about Tomba that make it feel like you're tripping while you're playing it and stuff
Yeah.
would do better now
I mean, I love Tomba.
than what it would even do then. Like, I think people would be
It
actually
was
more
such a
into
huge
it now.
game for a time where there weren't a lot of huge games.
And it had a lot of like the stuff that's popular now. Like, it had like RPG mechanics and things in a platformer, which was like really weird back then.
Yeah,
It's a very strange game overall, but the world has shifted closer to like what Tomba is.
It had like that 2.5 3D
which
thing.
is, people
I
are more
loved
used
it.
to now. Yeah.
If we're sticking with Sony, they haven't made one since PS2. I would love to see a new Ape Escape.
I was so annoyed because the anniversary.
Oh, they made one on PSP too, but it wasn't the same.
They haven't
It was
made
like a
since
Pumpkin
PS2. They haven't made a mainline Ape Escape. They've had spin-offs.
Yeah, but I want a mainline regular Ape Escape, and we haven't had a Jak and Daxter in a long time.
Well, the Ape Escape thing, like, they just had the anniversary, and in Japan, they're celebrating the anniversary to the point they have a pop-up shop in Tokyo which like, I'm like, once again, like, I should live in Tokyo, and they're selling like Ape Escape merch. And I'm like, that's cool. Same thing like when there's like Kirby merch places, that's cool. But especially with Ape Escape, I'm like, I wish that you're using this anniversary to announce a new game. Would be cool. And I think especially like this late in the PlayStation's life, where like you're getting to the point where it's becoming a thing for like families to buy on the cheap for their kids and stuff, would be a good time. And the install base is so huge. You kind of would like, it'd be difficult to make an Ape Escape game that wouldn't at least make its money back.
Yeah.
And so it's frustrating.
If anything,
they're not doing
it's more well known than it used to be.
Yeah, and we showed up in Metal Gear and stuff.
I mean, every Ape Escape I've played, 1, 2, 3, the mainline ones, I've always enjoyed. I even like the character that was in that PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale.
Yes.
So, which was nice they threw him in there. But they have a lot of IPs they have to bring back.
They're bad shepherds of their own IPs.
I feel like they should acquire a couple developers, maybe not a lot more, but a few more, just to make IPs they already own.
What was, speaking of like getting off of like Sony, like on the Nintendo thing, I think it would make a lot of sense. And this is a franchise that was never big in Japan because it never came out in Japan and stuff. But I feel like it'd be so easy to make a new entry in. And that's Star Tropics, because Star Tropics always kind of felt like an American Zelda.
Yeah, it was. I feel like it was supposed to be.
Right? And so, like, my point is, like, it wouldn't cost you as much dev time. You're already making this new...
You can even make, like, an HD remake.
You're making Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
Reskin it, make a new Star Tropics, like... There's enough people, I think, that will like flip out over it.
I wouldn't flip for it,
but it's like, at the very least, it's like, hey, if you like Zelda, like, and Zelda's more popular now than ever, like, here, Star Tropics, whatever.
You know who they should bring back? Plock.
I like Plock.
They should bring back Plock. That was a good game. It even got good reviews.
The people that made it want to make a new Plock, but it's a matter of...
They should kickstart
if
it.
they can.
I would back Plock 2.
I would back it, but I think we would be one of maybe 5 people that would.
Well, are you another one? Because that's
I
two
said
out
we
of
would
5,
be,
yeah.
what, yeah, 2 of 5, right?
It's like Plock 2, Plock It To Me. Or...
Okay, so we're shutting it down now.
You come up with that fucking title.
It was very different game because you threw your limbs.
Yes.
And occasionally you could have one like get lost where you threw it and you're like, oh shit, I gotta go get that back.
Yes.
Because yeah, it was a cool game. It was like Someone looked at like Dynamite Heady and was like, what if you could throw more than just your head?
Another game series from Super Nintendo that they should bring back, and I loved it. I wouldn't even. They should just remake the game in 2D, just like a classic. Joe and Mac.
I love Joe.
Joe and Mac is fucking awesome.
I like a lot of Data East games, and it's a shame that
I remember the boss music. It's like
they have the big dinosaurs. When I made the dinosaurs for my dinosaur card game, Joe and Mac was one of the main influences in like how the dinosaurs look. Because
with the eyes, like
because I just love the look of the dinosaurs in Joe and Mac. Joe and Mac actually is a series that has a lot of entries, but it's hard to. I don't know what any of that has to do with Joe and Mac.
I think Joe and Mac only had 2, right?
No, there was Congo's Caper, Joe and Mac 2, and then I think there's another one as well.
I don't remember one after 2.
There's Congo's Caper, which is a Joe and Mac game.
But I thought that was before.
That's before 2.
Yeah, so after 2, I don't remember.
But I think there's some other one. Anyways.
The point is they should bring it back. They haven't made one in a long time.
Well, it's Data East, so it has to be someone...
in the age, like a lot of co-op games are coming out now. I just got Strange Brigade on a Steam sale.
There was someone who made a game called Caveman Warriors that was trying to be Joe and Mac, but I didn't get a chance to play it to know if it's any good.
Who has the IP for Joe and Mac? It's not Nintendo.
There's a company that bought all of Data East's properties.
We should find them
and they let anyone make stuff with it if they pay them.
Oh, well,
so
they should do it.
We need to get the money for, if anyone wants to give us money for Joe and Mac.
I will do voiceovers in Joe and Mac. I don't know if I can voice one of them. I could try.
You could be they could have the female characters do more than get captured. They can like hang out and beat the crap out of dinos, and you can voice one of the, or there could be a new character. I don't know.
We can add.
Or you could voice a sentient dinosaur.
We can expand on the story a little more, so it's not just a 20-second opening and then nothing.
Yeah, yeah. I just loved how big the graphics were. That was impressive.
Yeah.
Back then.
I like the music. I like the bosses.
It's good. Daddy's made weird games, and that was surprisingly one of the least weird games they made. And it was pretty cool.
Who made Bonk? Was that them too?
No, that was
That's another
Hudson.
Weird game, but I don't think that should be. Well,
they should make a new Bonk. I like Bonk. It's similar to like Tomba, where
I feel like we're getting off track.
We really are. Where it's
we could talk about this all day, all fucking day.
It's just very bizarre. It does seem drug fueled because his head explodes, and when he eats something spicy, I don't know why, and like. He turns into other things. It's weird.
Yeah, it's pretty
But
awesome.
Speaking of turning into other things, I'm sure that you watched Batman Beyond back in the day.
I did. I love that show.
And there's something that I think is going to end up happening, and I want both of us to sign up for it as soon as it becomes available. And you remember it was just like a background thing in Batman Beyond, but there was like the gene splicing, like the fashion gene splicing for, and people would put like animal genes, graft them to themselves. And so I want to know if that was readily available and safe.
Yeah.
Would you do the animal gene splicing
Depends
thing?
what animal.
And I want to know what animal and what parts.
Oh,
if
I get to pick multiple?
If yes.
Nothing fish related, honestly. You're like, you take the thing, you have gills die like that. I hope you like your money's worth, asshole.
I just like go to say hi to you. I come into your place and you're just on the floor flopping. You're like, oh, you picked bad.
Yes. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'd want something.
It's definitely going to take off.
I'm not sure if I would take it because I want to be like attractive. And who's going to want to bang me if I'm not attractive? You know?
But like cat girls are all the rage.
I don't want to be a fucking cat girl.
I didn't say you had to be a cat girl. I'm just saying like, it's not. I'm saying the attractiveness isn't necessarily decreased because you decided to.
I don't want a rough tongue. Imagine doing French kissing with that. You're like, oh, my tongue's gone. Thanks.
You're like, hey, good news, I'm a cat girl. And then someone's like, oh, that's hot. And they come over.
Lick my pussy. It's like a grinder, like sandpaper.
They look at you and they're like, I don't see any ears or a tail. And you're like, hold on a second. I'll show you. Just close your eyes. It's like,
I can wash a hand now. You don't have to take a shower. I did it myself. Hold on.
It's just the bad parts of a cat. You're like, it's all they could do right now is fuck up my tongue and make me cough up fur balls.
I got the discounted one.
But they told me, like, when they get the cool shit in, I'm going to be first in line, so...
You start with this stuff and you get the rest later.
The doctors are just laughing backstage. Well, like, obviously, I think cat would be the most popular one. People would...
Cat,
I think, like...
bunny.
Bunny would be big.
Bunny, fuck like a bunny. Like, literally, if you get the sex trafficking.
Imagine someone that did, like, baboon ass.
What about if someone did, like, the lizard that bled from its face? And then just, like, hi, how you doing?
I'm trying to think
Cat tongue's not looking so bad now.
No. I'm trying to think of, like, I feel bad because all the things I think of that I'd want to do seem like so stereotypically the way to go. And I'm, like, trying to think of an animal that would be... Maybe koala.
Look, an animal. Hello, animal. Now you're going to be YouTube famous.
Maybe a koala. I'll have koala ears. Just red, furry koala ears right here. And a koala stump right here.
Would you get like a tortoise shell? Just feel like
that... I mean, I see the practicality in that. I don't know how psyched my wife would be to be like, she turns over in bed to go and lay on my chest. It's just this cold, ribbed shell that she's just laying on. It's like, oh man. And also just like, I need her help to get out of bed. I sleep on my back. Yeah. So I'd be like, can you, honey? It happened again. Help me. But the cool part would be when I was at a get together that I wasn't enjoying, I could just like, all right, later, just pop into my shell.
The only thing I think I would splice is I'd probably get some form of wing. I don't really want it to replace my arms.
But would they be bat wings or like?
Yeah, because bats still have their arms. Like if you take birds don't have arms.
Okay, so I was thinking like an extra set of wings coming out. Are you thinking of like your arms are now
first
wings?
Off, bat wings have a dual purpose. One, you can still have your arms, and two, it'll be hot if you do like a vampire cosplay. You know, got the real wings and stuff.
Right.
And that will make women super wet, including myself, because I got wings.
You're just in the mirror looking at your wings.
Yeah, actually. Oh yeah, those wings.
Bat wings is a good one. I like manatees, but there's probably nothing I would take from them. Although I wish, like, it seems like they have a very durable face. Because when they smash into the glass, it doesn't look like it hurts that much.
You know what else I might take? Chameleon eyes.
Just chameleon. You picked the fucking lamest thing on the chameleon.
I don't want the skin, even if I get to camouflage.
The camouflage thing's so cool.
But your skin would look shit like if you're not camouflaged.
Green skin's not bad.
And besides, I can't camouflage my wings. It'll just be a pair of wings like this. And you'll be like, what the fuck, disembodied wings?
Okay, I'm going chameleon with cat ears and tail.
See, with the chameleon eyes, I could look straight if I want, but then I can check fucking everywhere,
right.
You know?
What about an animal that lays an egg?
Would I also lay the egg? I don't think so. Like a platypus?
What do they call the top part of a chicken? What is the floppy thing?
You know, if I get something from a cat, I might get hands from a cat, so I can have claws. I always have that.
Padding? The cat padding. Like
well, no, the palms will be nice, but if I have to fight, I'll have claws, you know?
Right.
Find myself.
They're retractable. Would you paint them?
I would, actually.
Would that be okay if they retract?
Pink.
Would that be okay if they retract if they're painted? Probably, right?
Yeah.
Can you paint? I don't know. Is there anything against painting cats' nails?
It's my fucking body.
I'm just wondering. I'm sure there's somewhere online.
You want me to get that cat back and pet her nails?
Okay, now we're going to do a 20-minute segment where you just paint the cat's nails.
That's a YouTube video for another day after we look up if that's legal.
So you were wondering about love eggs.
Sorry, what?
You're talking about the love egg.
Oh, the love egg. Well, if for you guys and girls who don't know what the love egg is, it is a vibrating sex toy that looks like a little egg that you stick on your clit or inside your vagina or up your ass, wherever the fuck you want. And it feels good. It vibrates, and it has like 20 different settings. At least the one I have does. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering if you orgasm from using a love egg, did you just get laid by an egg?
I like how so many of your topics today are jokes.
Is that a joke?
Which came first, the Tiffany or the... Oh, no, it doesn't work.
Well, no, the follow-up question is, which came first, you or the egg?
The egg doesn't come. I wanted to make it work
It's
somehow.
supposed to be for a joke, but
Yeah.
you're not supposed to take the follow-up seriously.
I think that you could definitely say that. I think there's probably some...
I would say yes.
Forum online where they rate love eggs. And it's probably called, like, laid by the egg.
This one was exhilarating.
Right, they have an egg scale. It's like an egg carton.
Extremely awesome.
This is a full dozen on the scale. I've never used a love egg, so I don't know
this one
the
played
specifics.
foul with my clit.
It's like, oh, but it's such a cheap price. That's something you don't want to save money on. You don't want to take chances with that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where else to go besides the pun on it.
Well, I think it does count because even though it's not a literal egg, they do call it an egg. So technically, you got laid by an egg.
It just reminds me of the alien oppositor, egg oppositor thing when you talk about sex-related egg things.
How often do I talk about sex-related egg things?
I mean, you're talking about it right now.
We should talk about this at like a Denny's or something. Just feel like
when we're in the middle of the Yankee Candle shop.
This skent sounds like my vibrating egg that I orgasmed on. This is egg skent.
Oh, this smells like the eggs that I have deposited inside of me. What a memorable skent. So, I would like to say, on a different topic, I think it's great that it's so easy now to go on the internet and you can watch a live cam show of someone and enjoy your time and whatever. That part's great. Maybe there's settings that I'm missing on the sites. I don't think so.
What settings are you looking for?
Because for me, and I'm not here to kink shame.
Oh, okay.
But
you're about the kink shame.
But for me personally, Vegas payout sounds doesn't turn me on.
Wait, what?
Whenever there's like, you're watching one of the cam shows.
Oh, and they get a donation?
They get a donation. It's like, ding, 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 ding.
Well, see, that's...
It sounds like slot machines. Like I fell into like a Vegas slot machine alley. And it's the most distracting thing ever.
Oh, when you're like this, all you hear is...
And it always... Here's the problem is, they're always going to get the max donations when they're doing the best thing.
Yeah.
And so you can't even be like, oh, well, I'll just make sure that I finish.
You know, you could just mute, right?
I mean, I like to imagine...
Hear the girl or whatever.
The mountain lion.
I'm not kink shaming. I'm like you.
I said I wasn't.
Those dirty ching jerkers. And they jerk into the chings of the change.
Listen, if that helps you, you're like, I need to hear at least 15 coins dropping of sound effects before I can come.
Well,
then that's fine. It just doesn't work for me.
To drop the panties.
I'm fine with it. I think that they should make as much money as they can make. I'm not mad at anyone making the money. I'm just saying, and I get from their end.
Yeah, I was about to say I like the chings because I'm usually the one camming.
Yes.
So when I hear ching, that's not just a ching for me. That's, hey, my wallet's getting
I'm just
bigger.
saying there should be like a wireless earbud. You can listen to all the stuff.
Wait, what? You want me to like go with Bluetooth on?
I want you to have a cigarette butt hanging out of your ear.
What the fuck?
Those
I don't
AirPods.
smoke.
No, the AirPods. The AirPods just look like someone has a cigarette butt hanging out of their ear. You know what I'm talking about?
I was thinking like the headphones from the Super Scope.
Just these
Yeah.
you're getting tangled in the cord.
I'm tangled around my boot.
You're like accidentally jam it into there, so the audio jack. You're like People are paying more.
I keep the scope on.
The super.
I just keep the scope on.
It looks like War Games. You're just.
Hey guys, you here just scoping me out?
I found the drop zone. Like I said, I get from the performer end why hearing those sound effects is a plus. I'm just saying there needs to be a solution in which I don't have to hear, and I don't know that
They could just make it a quick, less annoying sound, like a boop, boop, boop. Would you be able to masturbate to that?
Depends. Are they Morse coding out saying "come now"? Or...
I mean, if they're Morse coding the girl with that, and she's paying attention to it, then that's actually really interesting. But
anyways, I just find it distracting. So I end up not looking at campsites.
you know what distracts me?
What?
The appeal to speedrunning. I don't see the appeal to speedrunning. I know that there are some people that enjoy doing it, but I can't figure out why the fuck you want to speedrun.
It's not a popular opinion.
We should actually tell people what speedrunning is if you don't know what it is.
So it's just people trying to get through a video game as quickly as possible.
Yeah, as fast as they can.
And there's multiple conventions that are like all about pros trying to...
No. I'm not talking about doing it for charity. That makes sense. You're doing it for a reason.
But I'm saying those people have to start somewhere.
But why? But it just doesn't look fun. Like, have you seen a speed run? Like,
Yeah.
almost every single one of them look fucking miserable. And the only time they're not miserable is the one time out of 500 they actually make it.
I think, to me, like, it's a different sort of mentality. Like, I have a friend...
Is. I'm not...
I have a friend that you're kind of like this right now with, like, Crash Team Racing, right? Where, like, you're trying to unlock every single thing. Like, you're trying to perfect, like, let me memorize the courses, things like that. I think everyone has different...
There is a difference.
Hold on, but everyone has different engagement levels in not even just games, but in their entertainment, right? And for some people, like, I'm very like, I'll like pass over the surface of something, dip in for a little while, and then move on to the next thing usually. So it's like, I'm not sitting there like rewatching a movie like 15 times trying to catch every little reference or things like that. The people that do it, it's cool. I'm happy there's people that do it. In the same way I'm happy there's people that speedrun. Like, it's like, hey, cool, I get to learn new things about this thing I like without me doing any extra effort. So, like, I'm appreciative of it. But, like, for me, like, it doesn't really do much. And I was thinking about speedrunning the other day. And I was like, it kind of seems like if Sega had their shit more together, they basically made a game that was speedrunning the game with a character that's like...
Isn't there a game already called Speedrunners?
Yeah, but I'm saying like, but like with a character that's basically like set for speedrunning with Sonic. And so like, if they had continued to make, like Sonic Mania is a return to form and that's an amazing game.
Yep, I got it for free.
But if they had like, and I don't know how many hooks there are into the speedrunning community in Sonic games, so maybe I'm like talking about my ass and there's like
I'm not even sure how big the speedrunning community is in general.
But I'm just saying it's like it seems like the perfect character. Like if I was Sega, I'd be like sponsoring speedrun stuff and whatever because you have a character that's basically like the whole point of Sonic is that I think a lot of people don't understand is like you're supposed to play through levels multiple times. Like there's the full exploration. There's like, now that I know the level, now I'm going to try to do the fastest time on it or whatever. And so like Sonic was kind of like doing the speedrunning thing contained in a game from like the outset. And so like I think like speedrunning in general is just like it's a continuation of like the arcade culture of like trying to get the highest score. Except the difference is like it's like the fastest speed.
It's like an Atari game. Who cares about the score?
There's people that do. There's people that are trying to. There's people that are the world record holders in any game.
Yeah, but who cares if they beat Mario in 2 hours? I want to enjoy Mario in like 5 hours.
But I also don't care about being like the best online at a particular game.
Well, I don't either.
But then there's people that will go to Evo and try to be the best at Tekken, and they play Tekken so much that they can't really play a lot of other games because they need to, because
that
everyone
sounds miserable, you know?
It's just like, it's not my personal thing of fun, but if Tekken was the best thing I'd ever played and I got more enjoyment out of being the best in the world at it than playing other games, that I could understand. Like I make, games like, board games, video games, whatever, or podcasts or whatever. And it's like,
you make podcasts?
Not.
Oh, I should be on one. When are we going to do that?
One time you should. I've thought of inviting you, but my parents wouldn't approve. So.
Because they don't like big tits. That's what my dad said.
It is weird that he keeps calling you.
He does, and he keeps calling me baby too. It's weird.
He says that to everyone.
He calls everyone baby.
It's confusing. Man, I totally lost track of what the fuck I was saying.
We were talking about how there's a difference what I do in Crash.
Oh, the Tekken thing. So, people will look at like the amount of time I put into making a game.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I want to make a game. And then when they find out how long and how much effort it takes to make a game.
But that's expected.
But I'm saying like they'll go like, fuck that, I'm just going to play games. And that's totally understandable. But I think it's like a similar thing. Like it's a different, what you're getting out of it.
Making a game appeals to me more. Maybe it's because I like
I'm saying like it's a difficult task that takes a lot of time, and there's no guarantee that it's going to work out for you in the end. And speedrunning is like similar to that. It's like you're putting in a lot of time. Someone might beat you by half a second, and then your year worth of prep was for shit. But you're like, I want to try to not have that be the case, and when someone beats you, like, well, now I got to figure out how to be even better than them. And it's like, so if you're getting off on, I'm the best in the world at this thing, then like the engagement level, you have a deeper engagement level with the game. You understand the game better than most people, and you appreciate the game more. And it's like, what you're getting out of it is like, man, everyone in the world knows I'm the best at this thing.
Not everyone in the world does, because
everyone that gives a shit.
Well, that's the problem. A lot of people don't give a shit.
There are people that like. There's so many people. A lot of my friends watch.
You've never brought up speedrunning to me until I was making fun of it.
I said a lot of my friends watch speedrunning.
The thing is, it's a lot of work for so little payoff.
There's not a lot of unlike someone trying to be the best at like League of Legends or something like that. It is a kind of weird offshoot because it's not like esports, which I think is kind of stupid. There should be.
Yeah.
I think there should be because there's people that'll sit there and like watch.
Everyone sitting in a corner with Super Mario 64 trying to beat the one record.
But I'm saying if you had two people up against each other and they started Mario 64 at the same time, and they're trying to beat each other.
And they're just trying to beat each other, not the record.
But I'm just saying, like, it's kind of the only bummer about speedrunning is, like, it seems like, unless I don't know...
But then that's different,
I'm
because
missing
then it's like a competition.
But maybe I'm missing something from it. But, like, people that, like, put in that much time on esports, there's a potential you're going to get paid from it. That you can make a living from it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, because I don't know. I haven't really investigated it at all. But it doesn't seem like, even if there's people that are getting paid to speedrun,
they're not getting paid
it doesn't seem like it's the same level.
No, they don't get paid a lot.
But it's potentially the same amount of work, if not more, to like get to the level they're at. So it's like, but at the same time, like money isn't everything, and it's like, it's pretty commendable that they're willing to put in that much effort for something.
I think
for the love of it.
reason that it's not held in such a high regard as, say, other esports games is because there aren't a lot of people trying to speedrun Super Mario 64 compared to how many people are trying to be the best at Overwatch.
True, yeah.
So it's like, if you get the cream of the crop out of, like, millions of people who are playing Overwatch, then that's crazy. But if you get, like, the cream of the crop out of, like, 62 people playing Mario 64 speedrunning, and that's being generous. I don't know how many people are doing that. It just seems like it's not profitable. I know they get paid from, like, subscribers. They'll donate to them, but unless you're, like, a pro and lucky, I can't imagine making a living off that.
I don't know. I've done no investigation.
And you know what? All these guys seem the same. They're always like pasty white incel looking dudes. Like, they don't get laid, and probably because they play nothing but Mario 64 and shit like that.
I don't know enough to comment on that, but I would say if you're spending all your time inside, you're probably going to be pasty.
Yes, there is one thing I do like about speedrunners. And that's when they fail. I love watching them fail.
I thought you were gonna say that that so many of them raise money for things, and you're like,
no.
I was like, oh, here's the predictable good part of it.
Fuck raising money.
What
for
I
kids.
like seeing is when they fail miserably. I'm like, I should have known.
Like when someone loses like the record by half a second and they're devastated. I fucking love watching their hopes and dreams just fucking crushed.
It's a speed run of depression.
I've seen there's like a YouTube channel called like Speedrun Fails, and you just watch people fucking fail, and some people like cry, and some people throw chairs, and some people.
The fact that you don't watch speedrunning but watch Speedrun Fails says everything that needs to be said.
I just get off on people's hopes and dreams diminishing.
Well, now that we're talking about people's hopes and dreams being diminished, their souls being crushed, and then being sent into a dark abyss, I think I'm ready to finally go to sleep.
I guess I am too.
It's been a pleasure to ruin your ability to sleep.
You know you're gonna sleep next to me, right? Why are you talking to me like you're leaving?
Because I'm leaving into the world of dreams, and I'm not inviting you.
Well, I'm just gonna stay awake and stare at you all night.
I thought you were gonna do a Freddy Krueger thing and like.
Well, I'm gonna wear the glove and clink it, but I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna stare at you and record it.
You know what? I'll take the Freddy Krueger clinking knife blades over your original plan of eating right next to me.
Oh, no, I'm gonna eat pizza with the Freddy Krueger blades.
Oh boy. Well,
clink, clink, clink.
I'm still gonna try to sleep anyway. Good night.
Good night.
Thanks for checking out Keeping Me Up. I'd like to thank our guest today, Tiffany Starr. If you want to check her out online, you can do so at Tiffany Starr XXX on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Don't forget, that's Star with 2 R's. Once again, that's Tiffany Starr XXX. Want to support the games, video, or audio content I make? You can donate as much or as little as you'd like on patreon.com/GameYayFun. That's GameYayFun. You can check out new episodes broadcast in video form on twitch.tv/GameYayFun, and an audio version of every episode is available on anchor.fm/GameYayFun. Or you can just search Game Yay Fun in your podcast service of choice. Don't have any money but still want to support the show? If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free Twitch Prime subscription. If you use it on the Game Yay Fun Twitch channel, it'll siphon some of Jeff Bezos' money into my pocket. You have to re-up it monthly though. Please let me know if you like the show by messaging me on Twitter at Razlo, R-A-Z-L-O, and I'll be back in 2 weeks with a new episode of Keeping Me Up and a new guest. Thank you for your time, and I hope I kept you gruntled. And do something kind for yourself and someone else every day. Special thanks to music-note.jp for providing the theme song to Keeping Me Up with the track name Desire Moon.